Welcome to Rock Solid Radio. I'm Linda Hutchinson, the Executive Director of Rock Solid Families.
And I'm Merrill Hutchinson, President of Rock Solid Families. And we are excited to have you join us as we talk all things faith, family, and fitness. A special thanks to Maxwell Construction and Mansfield Insurance Agency for their support of Rock Solid Radio, building a stronger community one family at a time.
Welcome to Rock Solid Radio. I'm Linda Hutchinson, the Executive Director of Rock Solid Families, and I'm here with my husband, Merle.
Well, hello, Miss Linda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
We also have two special guests joining us today that we'll introduce in a second, but we first want to set up today's show, hun, for a little bit first. Today's show, we're going to be focusing on couples out there who are struggling. And so for our listeners,
right,
if that's you personally, we hope that you'll tune in.
Well, and more specifically to that, so much of our work is always about marriage and family and that kind of thing. And so it's still in that main vein of working, but our program that we're going to be introducing today is, as you said, couples who are really kind of on their last leg.
Yeah, they're ready to call it
quits. This is an incredible program, great people behind it. So I can't wait to uncap this and really get into the details of it.
So please keep listening. There is hope out there. There is help out there. And unfortunately, there are way too many couples who are giving up without really giving their marriage a fight. So, we got to do some commercials first, though.
Well, and before we jump to the commercials, we always ask that you guys out there, our listeners, always share our shows and share them with friends. But this will be one show in particular that we ask you to not turn it down if you're like, well, my marriage is not in that bad a shape. This is a show that you want to grab hold of because we all know somebody who does have a difficult marriage.
Absolutely.
And we would rather, do anything that we could to bring that marriage together rather than it end in divorce.
And we feel like
this is a show that we encourage you to share.
Yeah, and we feel like this is one of the best kept secrets in town. We don't want it to be a secret, so we want to really get the word out about this program. So, but first, hon, look, we want to
time to pay some bills. Let's go.
I know. We want to support and thank the local businesses that have come alongside us to underwrite this show. And first, we want to thank Mansfield Insurance Agency. Mansfield Insurance Agency has built a reputation in the tri-state area built on caring, listening, and protecting their customers. So Mansfield Insurance Agency began in 1981 by Jim Mansfield and has been dedicated to individuals and businesses in Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. So if you have an insurance need, please call Mansfield Insurance Agency at 1-800-230-3927.
All right. Thank you, Mansfield. And also, we want to thank Maxwell Construction. Maxwell Construction was founded in 1988 by John Maxwell. And since that time, Maxwell has grown and expanded to become among the most recognized commercial companies in the tri-state area. What separates Maxwell Construction apart from their competition is their emphasis on being service-oriented to help to meet the needs of the individual customers. So whether it's a school or a hospital or a restaurant or an apartment or even retail center, Maxwell Construction is able to meet your needs. Call Maxwell Construction at 812-537-2200.
Yeah, we are so thankful to Maxwell Construction and Mansfield Insurance Agency, and we're also thankful for our supporters and our partners out there. Hun, we are in the middle of our Close the Gap challenge.
Wait, is the Gap going out of sale or out of business? What are you talking about?
Not the clothing Gap. I'm talking about closing.
Our Gap, our financial Gap.
Yeah,
yes.
And we're hoping to finish 2019 strong and fully funded. So we believe a strong community only happens with strong families. And so that's why we're committed to strengthening the family in our homes. So we've got to have men and women and children. We want them to be strong in their workplace, at school, at church. So will you join us in this mission? It's not the government's job, as we're seeing.
Right. Again, our government has different programs and different things like that, and we benefited from those things, but we find that they get very bureaucratic and just kind of messy. red tape-ish to get through. And Rock Solid Families comes through to say, let's go after the hearts of people and protect our families.
Yeah.
And so if you believe in our private enterprise coming out and doing the work to help families and keep marriages together, then please come alongside of us and help Rock Solid Families keep our doors open and do the work that we love doing and what we believe we've been called to do.
Yeah, so you can donate today at rocksolidfamilies.org. That's rocksolidfamilies.org, or you can go to our Facebook page, Rock Solid Families. It's not the government's job, it's our job, and it starts in the home.
Yes.
So, which is why I feel, Hun, that this topic is so important, because there are families out there who are struggling, and more often than not, it's because the husband and wife are struggling in their marriage. Mm-hmm. So, which is why we want to introduce you to some of our friends, Ed and Diane Fisher. Hi, guys. Thanks for coming on today.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
How are you guys today?
Great.
Good deal.
Yeah. So for our listeners' sake, could you guys tell us just a little bit about yourselves and your family, just so they can kind of put a name and a face together?
Sure. Diane and I have been married for 45 years, and we have 4 grown children, 3 daughters and 1 son, and we have 8 grandchildren. I'd say after being married 23 years, our marriage was really, really struggling. Mm-hmm. We had to turn to a marriage counselor who suggested that we go to Retrouvaille, which really helped our marriage. It brought us from brink of divorce to being married another 22 years after that.
Yeah.
So,
And Retrouvaille is really what we're talking about today, and we're going to get into more of Retrouvaille here in a second, because we are talking about an organization we believe is really the worst kept secret. I don't want it to keep a secret anymore. I want everyone to know, every listener, every family that's struggling, about Retrouvaille. So it's definitely an organization that I care very much about. So can you guys tell us a little bit about how you found out about it and your connection to it?
Wait, can I? You say Retrouvaille? What is Retrouvaille?
Yeah.
That sounds very French.
It's a French word.
Okay,
Yes.
what's it
And
mean?
it means rediscovery.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's making some sense.
Yeah.
And we'll tell you a little bit about the origin.
Yeah.
Retrouvaille was started in Quebec in 1977.
Okay.
And-
Quebec, Canada.
Yes.
Outside the United States.
So
Wow.
that's why we have the French name. Because
Gotcha.
1 year later, in 1978, it was translated to English, and they had it in Toronto.
Wow.
In 1982, it started in the United States.
Wow. It is all over the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
In 89, it was brought to Cincinnati.
Wow.
So it's when you say it was brought to Cincinnati, it was this whole program was brought in, right?
Correct.
It was taken from Marriage Encounter,
Okay.
which you probably heard of that before. That's for good marriages becoming stronger.
Okay.
Well, they found a need with couples that are troubled marriages. So therefore, they started Retrouvaille, trying to help struggling marriages.
So it came out of originally the Catholic Church, right? Marriage Encounter is a Catholic
Okay,
Church program
yeah.
for married couples. And so Retrouvaille kind of was the next step for folks who Marriage Encounter wasn't the right fit.
Correct.
Yeah. So
Meaning the marriage was a little too far gone.
yeah, sometimes marriage retreats are hard when you're not happily married right then and struggling, because sometimes it's just not the place for it. So tell me, describe Retrouvaille. If someone's listening and they're trying to figure out what the heck is this, so can you describe a little bit of what Retrouvaille is?
Well, Retrouvaille, we have a weekend and 6 follow-ups. The weekends held at either a hotel or a retreat center. Mm-hmm. And then the 6 follow-ups are somewhere a different place, but the same place every week. And on the weekend there is 3 couples who have made the program that are presenters telling about their story and their struggles about, and there is hope.
Yeah.
And also, we talked about communication. We find that's a key problem
Huge.
in marriages today. It just seems like people just are greeting each other as they're coming and going, rather than sitting down and talking to one another like they did when they were first getting
not
together.
really listening to one another.
They don't listen. They're getting ready to reply rather than to really listen to what your spouse is saying.
So for our listeners out there, Linda and I went through the weekend of Retrouvaille just to learn about it, and we became participants. And it was intense. It was, I mean,
not for the faint of
intense
heart.
in a good way because of what you're saying with the communication part. I mean, Linda and I do this for a living, but oftentimes, you know, you don't take the time to actually
it for
go
granted.
back and polish and work on your own skills that you have, and you do take each other for granted, and you take life for granted. Like, oh well, you know, she understands what I mean, or
Right. She'll always be there.
She gets it, and so. When we actually went down and started that week, and we got about halfway through that weekend, we were looking at each other like, I'm exhausted. But in a good way, because each talk made us go a little bit deeper and just kind of, and because you follow the program, you guys were very good about saying, this is all we want you to do in this particular talk. And you kind of put limits on us. So we couldn't just go and jump to the conclusions of what we wanted. You made us stay with the program. And that sometimes was frustrating because we wanted to go to our immediate answers, like what we always do, which is obviously if you're in a troubled marriage, what you always do is probably not working, right?
That's why they're there. Right.
Yeah, and so we just want to tell you that was very intense, but it was very good. We came out of that just ourselves feeling renewed and refreshed, and just reminding us of the tools that we need to communicate. And you know, one of the things was not just communicate, but getting back in touch with the heart of the person that I married. And oftentimes we just get in touch with the word of what they say, and we just totally sterilize the heart out of it. And when you start to see your spouse speaking, and you see the emotion that's coming through, and you don't stop it, you give her that time to bring it out, you're kind of stopped in your tracks. And so it was just really cool. So I just want our listeners to know that we are interviewing you guys, but we got a little bit of first-hand experience, and so we want to be able to share that.
Yeah.
And we would like to add, too, that we don't have distractions on the weekend. Like when you're at home, you're busy with kids, or you're on the go. There we offer you the time to just connect one-on-one once again. And to be honest with you, I learned more about Ed on our weekend 21 years ago than I knew about him for 23 years before.
Wow.
And that really opened my eyes.
Yeah.
And it's all about, you always want your spouse to change. Well, sometimes you have to learn you have to change yourself first before your spouse changes.
The blessing of Retrouvaille is that if you're listening to us today in this podcast and you don't live in the tri-state area, Retrouvaille is all over the country. And it's amazing. All over the world.
Yes.
Right?
27 countries.
That's crazy.
5 languages.
Wow.
And increasing.
Yeah.
Well, Ukraine just had their first weekend, so now it's 28.
Oh
In
my
India,
goodness.
That's
too.
cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is a far-reaching program that I think the Lord is really doing amazing things. Tell us a little bit about the success that you see with Retrouvaille.
They had a study up in Detroit that if the couples go to the weekend and do the 6 follow-ups, 75 to 80% remain married.
That's amazing because, and again, listeners, I want you to hear these are couples, these are marriages that are already deeply on the rocks.
Yeah.
Some are already divorced and they come to the program and
Separated.
separated,
Yeah.
and they get back together again.
Yeah, that's why the tagline is a lifeline for couples.
Definitely.
Yes, Diane and I were separated when we went through the program.
Wow.
Wow, and that was how many years ago?
21.
No.
Don't start
years
fighting,
ago.
guys.
22. Well, we're
Yeah.
22.
Yeah. So you've been involved in this program ever since.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Wow. So the important thing, I think, and we've had some clients that have gone through this and come back saying the key for them was not just the weekend, it was the follow-up sessions. So you don't just kind of throw it out there and then leave them hanging. You work with them and step alongside them all along the way.
Well, we say the weekend offers the couples the hope, but it's the sessions afterwards that gives them the help, because we go into more details.
Yes.
There's only so much you can cover
Right.
in a
Right.
weekend. We go into different topics like intimacy and sex, conflict management. You know, a lot of people,
Families.
yes. It's important to teach people how to have conflict in a healthy way, how to communicate together. And it's also trickles down to our kids too. We learn how to talk to our kids,
Yep.
how to understand them better, how to let them express their feelings in a healthy way.
And I love that you mentioned that, because that is a big part of what Linda and I are interested in, because we do not just marriage, but we do a lot of the family side of that. And we see when that marriage isn't strong, this now is multi-generational impact.
Leaving a legacy of pain.
Yeah, and so we see that that's really is as critical as anything, that we've got to get that marriage strong, so that the kids and the grandkids and the generations that follow have examples, have been taught good things in right ways, and so that's why this is so critical.
I think also the reason I think it's a secret is that there's not a lot of couples that go out there and just want to shout from the rooftops, hey, we were in crisis and we went through Retrouvaille. So a lot of times it's couples suffering in silence. They do get help, and then they just kind of want to go back to normalcy, and they don't really want people to know that there was a difficult time in their lives.
That is exactly what happens.
Yeah.
People want to keep it quiet, and honestly, we don't understand that. Everybody has problems, and we
Sure.
want to tell people there is hope, that we
Yes.
can help you.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted you here today, because we want to get the word out. So we're hoping if you are hearing this today and this isn't applying to you, you know someone, share this message with them, post it online, help them to understand that Retrouvaille is a real solution to couples in crisis.
So if we go to Retrouvaille, who's teaching us? You said something about some couples. So are these couples trained therapists, or who are these couples that are teaching us?
No, it's a peer ministry. It's just couples who have been through Retrouvaille, and
Because
then-
their marriage was troubled.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we tell our story. We have an outline we go from, and we tell our story and how people can relate to our story. Whether they do or not, they learn ways that they can solve problems. Not necessarily on the weekend, but throughout our whole session.
And everybody's stories is different, but what I do like is that you're replicating this around the world, and so there is a format, there is some set guidelines of what you're covering and how you're covering it, so that people's experiences are unique but the same. They wherever you go. So whether you're in Lexington, Kentucky, or you're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you're going to experience Retrouvaille the way it's been designed.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's important. So what is Retrouvaille not? For those out there listening, what would you say it's not?
It's not a spiritual retreat. It's not a sensitivity group. It's not a seminar or a social gathering.
Yeah, there's work involved.
Yes.
You're not going to just sit there and be a spectator. And not that you have to share your stuff. That's what I appreciated. It's not that you're sharing your stuff out in front of the group.
It's very confidential.
Yes.
It's only the people up there, the couples talking about their personal experiences that share. We leave the couples alone. That's between them. We just want them to connect once again.
It's
with
not a
each other.
relaxing retreat either.
No, it isn't.
Right, I caution, because I was thinking of what I said before, like how hard it was. It's hard in a good way, and
Yeah.
it's not relaxing in a good way, just
Yeah.
because you know that you're on task.
Yeah,
and you're there not because you thought it'd be fun. No, you're there because you're in a difficult situation.
Yeah.
And so your heart's right away knows we're here because we have to do some work.
It's worth it. It's worth it. If you are out there and you're thinking of giving up, don't give up. Don't give up. Give this a try. Even if it's your last line, it's worth it.
Absolutely. It's about forgiveness and trust. And we all need that. We have to forgive one another, but we don't necessarily need to forget. We
Yeah,
learn from
we
our
learn.
experiences.
Yeah. So what do you think is the secret sauce of Retrouvaille? Why is it having such great success rate?
Well, they're really teaching you how to communicate again. So many people, their only communication is I'll pick the kids up after school, or I'll get the bread on my way home from work.
That's about what we're going to, yeah.
we really do not spend time with our spouse. Retrouvaille is teaching you to spend some time and really talk.
Yeah.
And we're also a society that's just connected with our screens, and we don't communicate with each other
getting
anymore
worse.
that way. It is getting worse. I know I love technology, but we're raising kids without empathy, and we need to be able to talk to one another and teach our children the importance of talking and expressing our feelings to one another.
Now, you said it's not a spiritual retreat, but it is a faith-based organization.
Absolutely.
So God and His Word and Jesus Christ is a center of everything you're doing here.
It is,
Right.
and we bring in scripture at times, but we do not work to convert anybody.
Right.
That is not why we're there.
Right.
Our lives have been changed by Retrouvaille through God. God brought us to Retrouvaille. I
Right.
don't have any other way to say it, and I'm not taking that out because it's a major point.
It is huge. It is
Yeah.
huge. With God, all things are possible, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
through Christ. So definitely, it's not Retrouvaille itself. It's Christ using Retrouvaille to reach couples that are ready to throw in the towel.
And that's what we call, we are a servant leadership. We are trying to help couples through Christ
Yeah.
and His Word.
So what if we are a couple and we kind of finally realize that we are struggling and we want to do something? Give me some of the nuts and bolts of how I would get started. Like, what kind of money are we talking? What kind of, who do I call? How would I even get plugged into this?
Okay, well, we have a website, and we don't want you to have to worry about spelling Retrouvaille. So we
Appreciate that, 'cause I have a hard time still.
It's helpourmarriage.com, and that will give you information about Retrouvaille. Also, we have a local phone number, 513-456-5413, and that will keep you in touch with somebody from our Retrouvaille community.
Okay, so I would just, the website is helpourmarriage.com.
Yes.
Okay, and so that's just an easy way to write Retrouvaille, right?
Right. If you want to do Retrouvaille, it's Retrouvaille.
Very
Ooh,
good.
I do have that right. I could have said that.
And people always spell it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But we never turn anybody away because they can't afford it. We ask for a donation at the end of the weekend. We do have a registration fee, and you'll get more information on the website about that. But we know people are in financial binds, and we don't want people's marriages to crumble because they can't afford a program. So
right.
we never turn anybody away.
And the next one's coming up, which is why we're doing this in December here, because the next weekend is when?
January 10th through the 12th.
That's in the Cincinnati area,
Yes.
right?
Blue Ash.
Yeah. So, but again, if you're not listening, if you're not living in the Cincinnati area and you're listening, go to it, because you can type in your zip code and find one near you.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, for sure. So we want to. So if there is someone listening right there, right now, Ed and Diane, and they're ready to throw in the towel and give up on their marriage, what would be your final words you want to say to them?
I would say I received divorce papers from Diane. I had them in my hand. We were separated for 3 months, and our counselor recommended that we go to this program, and we did. And through Retrouvaille, we started communicating again, and I judge it's never too late to heal your relationship. And your children, of all people, want to see their parents in a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So do it for your children, do it for your spouse, do it for yourself. It's never too late. God's at work, and He will help you.
Yeah, it might be that you're just hearing this today. The Lord's using you guys in this program to just reach out. Diane, how about for you? Is there anything you would
Well,
want to
he
say?
took my exact words, of course. But I would like to stress, I stress this on every weekend, that your children, more than anybody, like Ed said, want to see your marriage work. And even if you don't have children, give it one last chance. Where else can you go for one weekend to save your marriage?
Yeah.
And we see that happening.
So, Ed, just in you saying what you said, you were delivered divorce papers, and one of the things that we know with Linda and I, with working with couples, is that if we don't have an open and somewhat broken heart, if I still have a hard and calloused heart, like, oh, it's her issue, I'm sick of this, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. But if I have a broken heart or an open heart, I can really see so much work and the willingness to work take place. And just even in you saying what you said there, you were served papers. What made your heart finally say, I have got to do something different?
Well, I didn't want to lose my wife. We were married for 23 years. We got 4 children.
Wow.
We had a lot of good times together. And I just thought about those good times, and I wanted them back.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that Merle and I have gotten a chance to know you guys. We love you guys, and you are such an inspiration to us. We're part of a healthy marriage team that meets monthly with other couples in the tri-state area. If you want more information on that, you can go to rocksolidfamilies.org and go to our classes and services. It talks a little bit more about that, but that's how we got to know you guys, and we're so thankful that you really do inspire couples to know there is hope out there. There is help out there. And so if you are struggling in your marriage and you're listening to this today, you can't assume things are just going to get better on their own. That's part of our homework, is that acknowledge that you need help and then go get some help. Don't just sit there and think, oh, it'll get better. Oh, it's not that bad. Pray for your spouse in your marriage. It's hard to be mad at someone when you're praying for them. But God is bigger than anything, as Ed said, you find yourself in. Even divorce papers. If you don't believe that right now, I get it. But you may be in survival mode after having a devastating betrayal. Maybe there's been some abuse, verbal abuse, that you're thinking this could never change. Our show, hopefully, is to help you realize there is help out there.
Yeah, and I would encourage too, and Ed, I just appreciate so much your sharing what you did there about how your heart was kind of hit hard by this whole situation, which moved you, and seeking out counsel that is going to be contrary to what a lot of the world is going to say. And that's where we actually see a lot of the hardening of the heart come in. And girls and guys, I mean, both sides go to that, but we see more guys just like throw their hands up and say, I don't know what to do, I whatever, and they just sort of throw their hands up. And so seeking that spiritual counsel, wise counsel, and being teachable, right? Being coachable, and that's that humility that it took for you to both kind of fall on your knees and say, okay, this isn't working with the way that we are doing.
And not listening to your buddies or your friends or your coworkers saying, oh man, you deserve better, or just drop that person, and to really seek out. Find a church home. We all need support and encouragement. It really is a benefit to us if you have that for your family. Call us at Rock Solid Families, 812-576-ROCK, or contact us through our website, rocksolidfamilies.org. We want to help come alongside you in, whatever we could do. If you're married, remember that website again is helpourmarriage.com. Helpourmarriage.com.
Or is it Help for Our Marriage?
It's help
our marriage.
Help our marriage.
See, I had that all wrong.
Help our marriage.
Or Retrouvaille.
Or Retrouvaille, if you can spell that.
Because there is a weekend coming up, January 10th through the 12th. So, Ed and Diane, is there anything else that we kind of forgot to bring up that you want to include?
Just that we live in a disposable world, and it's time to change things around. We need to value marriages and support one another in our marriages so that we can have a pleasing God, please our God.
Yeah. And what's amazing, we didn't mention this, the Retrouvaille community is such a strong community that walks alongside you, and you could be a part of this group forever. For years. You've been there for over 20 years.
Yes, we have plenty of activities afterwards. We meet at least once a month, and we have more enrichment programs, and it's just an amazing ministry that we have devoted all our time to.
So much encouragement and support out there, and it's available. There is hope and there is help out there.
All right, well, we want to wrap up by just saying thank you to both of you and for sharing a little bit of your story, but even more so about the ministry of Retrouvaille and the service that it is. We also just want to sign off by thanking our sponsors. We want to thank Maxwell Construction for their continued support of Rock Solid Radio, along with Mansfield Insurance. So for all of your construction needs and your insurance needs, contact Maxwell Construction or Mansfield Insurance Agency. So we want to thank those guys also. Just a reminder, we are closing the gap with our financial needs for Rock Solid Families. So please, if you're interested in helping us out, you can go on to rocksolidfamilies.org and you can hit the donate button. There's lots of different options to do that, but we would appreciate all your support in doing that.
Yeah. So for my husband Merle and I, for Ed and Diane, thank you. Thank you for tuning into Rock Solid Radio, building a stronger community, one family at a time. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Rock Solid Radio. For help or more information about what you've heard on today's show, contact us at rocksolidfamilies.org or call us at 812-576-ROCK. That's 812-576-ROCK. Again, a huge thanks to our sponsors, Maxwell Construction and Mansfield Insurance Agency. If you have questions you'd like answered on our show or you want to chime in on something you heard, go to our Facebook page, Rock Solid Families. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to tune in next week for another episode of Rock Solid Radio. I'm Linda Hutchinson, and for my husband Merle and I, thanks for tuning in to Rock Solid Radio, building a stronger community, one family at a time.